top newspapers to your radio.
It's from the Dailies, your early morning companion.
Every Monday through Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m.
on Melody 107.7 FM.
Headlines that shape the nation. Stories from the north, south, east, and west. Brought to you fresh and fast.
With expert analysis, sharp opinions, and sound presenters breaking it all down clearly, smartly, and straight to the point.
Politics, business, security, health, society. Nothing escapes the spotlight.
This is your head start into Nigeria's biggest stories of the day. From the Dailies, news that talks to you. Only on Melody 107.7 FM, Lagos.
From the Dailies on your favorite radio station. Melody 107.7 FM. Stay tuned.
Studio time check, 2 minutes gone past the hour of 8 o'clock. It's the 10th day in the month of June 2026. Good morning and welcome to From the Dailies, reaching you straight from the Super Dial, Melody 107.7 FM, right here in the city of Lagos. Now, this is the segment of our daily broadcast where we get to take you through English newspaper review that's talking about bringing you stories that made it to the cover pages as well as the inside pages, as we bring some expert analysis along the way this morning. I am Roland, Imoyera. Of course, I'm not doing this alone. I've got joining with me on the program this lovely morning.
Well, it feels good to be here this morning at this 10th day of June 2026. Do not forget that we are live on Facebook at Melody 107.7 FM on From the Dailies. I am Matthew Oluwasegun Ijabiken, MOI, reporting for duty this morning.
All right, don't forget, as always, we always open the studio lines for you to call in to share your thoughts and opinions on any of the stories that will resonate with you in the course of the program for the day. Now, don't forget the studio lines to reach us this morning, 0906 201 1077, 0906 201 1077. You can as well reach us on 0704 800 1077, 0704 800 1077. Those are the numbers to call in this morning to share your thoughts on any stories that will resonate with you in the course of the program for today. I'll be taking you through stories that made it to the pages of the Punch as well as the Nigerian Tribune newspapers.
And for my end, I have the Nation as well as the Vanguard newspapers.
Let's begin straight away from this one, from the front cover page of the Punch newspaper for today. National Assembly will pass state police bill this week. That is credited to Senate leader. Let's just hope that it will be a major step to the creation of state police finally in the country. This is something that has been clamoring. People have been clamoring for this for quite a while now. Due to the insecurity in the country, the argument is that the creation of the state police will bring people on board, people that really know the community very well, to police their community, rather than leaving this to the hands of passive strangers now to come and police your. At
least they understand the terrain of the community, of the atmosphere, and they know how to fish out and
sometimes people in this community know those guys are the bad guys in their areas, so they will know how to watch them, they will know how to.
And of course they should be working in collaboration with even their community leaders as well.
Definitely. Another fear is that that people always say this whole process, this whole state police thing will be hijacked by the emperors of the state, talking about the state governors now, so use them for their own selfish agenda.
We should also experiment it first and see how it fares.
I love the fact that you say we should experiment it first. We should not throw away the baby and the bathwater at the same time. It's something that we should, just let us at this point in time,
let's give it a chance.
With the way the security situation is going in this country, anything that we need to experiment to just ensure that we bring and nip this in the bud, I think it's something that should be embraced at this time. But moving on to other stories on the front page of the the Punch newspaper for today. Nigeria's foreign debt to hit 72.6 billion naira after 2027 polls. That is coming from the IMF. It is something that some people find worrying, but well, it's just what it is. But let's move on now. Post-primary chaos worsens as INEC fixes candidate submission deadline. All right, let me see if I can take one or two other stories that made it to the Punch newspaper for today. Xenophobia: 270 Nigerians evacuated from South Africa return on Thursday. Finally. The first batch will be here tomorrow. The fact is that
that's a good story to hear.
But people have not really been happy about the body language of our government towards these attacks in South Africa. I mean, we just feel like we are really, slowing down in taking retaliatory measures or even giving sanctions to this particular country for treating our citizens. Now, not just even those that do not have adequate papers. We have those that have been confirmed to have legitimate papers and documentations and still being treated unfairly. Their kids not being allowed to go to school, not being allowed to access public health care.
And we have a lot of South African investments here in Nigeria that are very well protected by the government of this country.
Yes, they are making billions from this country and taking it back to their country, and yet you guys are treating Nigeria.
And don't forget that Nigeria even fought for their emancipation.
Nigeria has been a big brother to this country. So
fought for their emancipation during apartheid and all that.
But even let's look at that. Even if we didn't fight for them, you have to protect citizens, foreigners in your own country. No country can work in isolation. Yes, we're not saying you should now go to these countries illegally. You have to go to, but those that are there legally need to be protected. They need to enjoy some specific rights. They are all humans. So the way they're treated, they are treating Africans generally in that country. And you see this body language of the government of South Africa, even the police force and all, it's nothing to write home about. So I think most Nigerians, at this point in time, we want to see the federal government taking a more practical step. Not the one that the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Bianca Odumegwu, came out to say yesterday that Nigeria is considering sanctions for this country. Nigeria is not happy with South Africa, That's not what we want at this time. We want action. Yes. And moving on to other stories now on the Punch newspaper. Inflation, insecurity still major challenges despite reforms. That is coming from the federal government. Tinubu orders repatriation of 300 Nigerians held in Ethiopian prison. All right. That's another story you can find on the page of the Punch newspaper. Let me say this last one. Tinubu inaugurates road, hails infrastructure drive in the Federal Capital Territory. Now, those are some of the stories you can get from the front page of the Punch newspaper for today.
And now on the Vanguard newspaper above the masthead, IMF counsels the federal government against a $5 billion UAE loan, 6 higher taxes. And that's on page 11 for details. Moving on, the major story here, and Nigeria moving in right direction. And that's related to federal government. Okay, when we start to read the details, we get to know, in what direction they are referring to. Yes. That's on page 5 for details. Okay, reps, someone service chiefs, finance minister over security spending. That's on page 8 for details. All of these are more on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper.
That security, it's just right now that the reps invite service chiefs to come and give account of security spending. Then don't forget that last week the Senate stepped down a motion whereby Senator Adams Oshomole was calling on the House to investigate the budget that have been sent to the spent by the Ministry of Defense for the fight against insurgency in the country. They stepped down that bill, but I think it's a good one from the House of Representatives, trying to make this particular arm of the government now to be more accountable, because year in, year out, humongous amounts of money, huge amount of money has been budgeted for the fight against even that particular sector. And most of the time we see little or no improvement. Yes, sometimes we see equipment, sometimes we see one or two, but I think it's about time.
It should yield results. Results is what people are looking forward to
at this time. Yes. All right, let me quickly move on to the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. From this end, under my watch, 1,859 families have accessed 128 billion naira for housing. That is coming from our president, Bola Tinubu. INEC fully recognizes Wike-backed national PDP National Working Committee. Let me see if I can take some other stories from the front page of the Nigerian Tribune for this insecurity, poverty threatening credibility of Nigeria's elections. That is credited to Falana. Now, this is something that is key. We know the legal luminary always comes out to,
to lend his voice.
To lend his voice to a critical national issue. That is just coming out to say insecurity, poverty threatens credibility of Nigeria's elections. And that is true because with this spate of insecurity in the country, I'm sure there are some parts of the country that will not be able to vote due to this security situation.
Even most people have lost confidence in the government itself.
I don't want to look at it from that perspective now. I want to look at it from, we all see remember people that have been displaced from their communities.
Yes.
People that the number of people we have even in the IDP camps. Most of these people will definitely be disenfranchised if the government do not really take adequate curtail this. And then poverty as well. The poverty has to do with they say our so-called leaders now try to use this issue of poverty now as a weapon to disenfranchise Nigeria. You make them poor.
Yes.
And try to give them small incentives so that they can, vote for you. These are some critical issues that we need to look into. Yes. Third year anniversary era of abandoned project has ended. And it's credit to our president Bola Tinubu. This is something that is very good. It's so saddening that you see each administration come in, dedicate huge amount of money to one particular project, and as soon as that administration is going away, most of
there is no continuum.
There's no continuity. This is something that is really critical and has really affected the development of the country as a whole. Xenophobic attacks. Federal government begins evacuation of Nigerians from South Africa. Oyebanji has performed to deserve second term. Tinubu tells Ekiti residents. Don't forget that the vice president was in Ekiti yesterday. Yes. Moving on to other stories now. Lagos to monitor, deliver on all summit investment deals. That is credited to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. 1,859 families got 128 billion naira for housing under my watch. That is coming from our president. Okay, let me see if I can still squeeze in one more. Okay, I think those are some of the stories we can find from the pages of the Nigerian Tribune for today. Yeah.
Okay, and now I have on the Nation newspaper. Okay, military success depends on public confidence, and that's related to Chief of Army Staff. Moving on, Adeleke's campaign council accuses Osho APC of spreading falsehood. You can find that on the Nation newspaper. And I'm moving on. Government pledges reforms, sustenance on IMF backing. So you can also find that on the Nation newspaper for details. Okay, this one, Ogun APC false Iyabo Obasanjo's unjust treatment claims. You can find this also on the Nation newspaper. Let me take this one lastly on the Nation newspaper. Federal government pledges support for environmental management. All of this on the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning. All
right, it's from the Dailies right here on Melody 107.7 FM. We will go on this break now. When we return, it will be time for us to go straight to some of the details that we read out to you from the pages of the papers for today. Do stay with us from the Dailies returns after this.
There, do you know that advertising helps to reach out to potential clients or customers, makes you visible to the globe, helps increase sales and creates massive awareness on what you do, thereby increasing your profits or given idea result? And Melody 107.7 FM is calling out to brands, companies, institutions, organizations, businessmen and women to complete adverts with us for visibility and recognition. Melody 107.7 FM is located at number 6 Melody House, Akintoye Street, BRT Bus Stop, Iyanopaja, Lagos. Visit us on all social media platforms at Melody FM 1077 or email us at melody1077fm@gmail.com or call our marketing department on 08095111077 08095111077. Stay cool with Melody.
From the pages of Nigeria's top newspapers to your radio.
It's from the Dailies, your early morning companion.
Every Monday through Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m.
on Melody 107.7 FM.
Headlines that shape the nation. Stories from the north, south, east, and west. Brought to you fresh and fast.
With expert analysis, sharp opinions, and sound presenters breaking it all down clearly, smartly, and straight to the point.
Politics, business, security, health, society. Nothing escapes the spotlight.
This is your head start into Nigeria's biggest stories of the day. From the Dailies, news that talks to you. Only on Melody 107.7 FM, Lagos.
Dailies on your favorite radio station. On your favorite radio station. Melody 107.7 FM. Stay tuned.
All right, welcome back to From the Dailies on Melody 107.7 FM, right here in the city of Lagos. Don't forget, like we did mention at the earlier stage of the program this morning, the studio lines are open for you to call in now to share your thoughts on the stories that we read out to you or any that you feel resonates with you in the course of the program for today. 0906-201-1077, 0906-201-1077, 0704-800-1077. Those are the numbers to call in to be part of the program for today. Matthew, I think you should go ahead now.
All right, on the Vanguard newspaper, for details, reps summon service chiefs, finance minister over security spending. Okay, the House of Representatives yesterday summoned service chiefs and finance minister and coordinating minister of the economy to appear before it and provide a detailed account of funds released to the military amid growing concerns over the worsening security situation across the country. Despite huge budgetary allocations to defense, the resolution followed the adoption of motions on the escalating wave of banditry, kidnappings and attacks on communities, schools and places of worship across Nigeria, particularly in the northwest. Reps summon service chiefs, finance minister over security spending. Details of this on the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
Tinubu orders repatriation of 300 Nigerians held in Ethiopian prison. That is on the pages of the Punch for today. President Bola Tinubu has dispatched a high-level delegation to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, to secure the immediate repatriation of nearly 300 Nigerian nationals serving prison sentences in the country. Sources within the presidency and the Foreign Service familiar with the directive said the prisoners are held in deteriorating conditions in Kaliti, a maximum security prison in Addis Ababa. Tinubu mandated the delegation, which includes the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu, and the Acting General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, to sign a memorandum of understanding with the Ethiopian government that will allow the prisoners to be transferred to Nigeria to complete the remainder of their sentences in Nigerian correctional facilities. President Tinubu orders repatriation of 300 Nigerians held in Ethiopian prisons. It's a story you can get on picking a copy of the Punch for today.
All right, still on the Vanguard newspaper, AKT Polls. INEC released over 2,000 double registrants. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has invalidated 2,103 voter registrations identified as cases of double registration ahead of the AKT State governorship election scheduled for Saturday, June 20, 2026. This was as the Commission expressed satisfaction with the overall state of its preparations for the poll. INEC Chairman Professor Joash Amokwita-San, who disclosed this at the Commission's second quarterly consultative meeting with leaders of political parties held at INEC headquarters in Abuja on Tuesday yesterday, said the register of voters for the election currently contains 1,059,360 registered voters, a figure that reflects the addition of 66,664 new voters registered during the first and second phases of the continuous voter registration exercise to the 2023 register of 987,647 voters. AKT Polls, INEC delays over 2,000 double registrants. Details of this on the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
And from the Punch newspaper, lawmakers don't fix their salaries. RMAFC does, Senate leader Bamidele declares. Now, Senate leader Okweyemi Bamidele has dismissed claims that federal lawmakers determine their own allowances. Rather, he insisted that salaries and official vehicles entitlements for members of the National Assembly were fixed by the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission. The News Agency of Nigeria reports that Bamidele was reacting to a court ruling that declared National Assembly's 110 billion naira SUV and allowance spending unlawful. Now recalls that a federal high court sitting in Lagos had recently declared unlawful the National Assembly's controversial 110 billion naira vehicle and allowance schemes. Lawmakers don't fix their salaries. RMAFC doors. Senate leader Bamidele. That's a story from the Punch newspaper for today.
And while still on the Vanguard newspaper, Oshupol, Adeleke raises alarm over political attacks. Ask Tinubu to caution Oyetola. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has accused the suspected political thugs linked to the All Progressives Congress APC of carrying out coordinated attacks in parts of the state, calling on security agencies and federal authorities to intervene ahead of the August 15 governorship election. In a statement posted on his X page on Tuesday, Adeleke condemned the attacks, which he said occurred in Leife, Ede, Oshogbo, and communities across the state. All right, Oshogbo, Adeleke raises alarm over political attacks. Asked Tinubu to caution Oyetola. This of this on the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
And on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, third year anniversary era of abandoned projects has ended. That is coming from President Bola Tinubu. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has declared that the era of abandoned public projects has ended in the country. The president disclosed this on Tuesday when he inaugurated the main carriageway of the Alton Southern Expressway from Ring Road 1 junction to Ring Road 2 junction in the nation's capital, Abuja, constructed by the Federal Capital Territory Administration under the supervision of the FCT Minister Barrister Nyesom Wike to mark the president's third anniversary in office. Tinubu, who was represented by the Senate President Godswill Akpabio, said the completion of the strategic road project underscored his administration's commitment to delivering critical infrastructure capable of stimulating economic growth, easing transportation, and improving the quality of life of Nigerians. Describing the infrastructure as the backbone of economic development, the president said the newly completed road would unlock new opportunities for businesses and residents across the Federal Capital Territory. Third year anniversary. Era of abandoned projects has ended. That is coming from President Bola Tinubu. You can get more from the Nigerian Tribune newspaper today.
And now flipping to the Nation newspaper, federal government pledges reform sustenance on IMF backing. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, yesterday said economic reforms implemented over the past 3 years by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration have yielded improved macroeconomic outcomes and enhanced Nigeria's resilience to external shocks. In its latest country report issued yesterday, following annual review of Nigeria's economy, the IMF stated that the general direction of the government's reforms has positioned the Nigerian economy on a stronger footing, citing liquid and resilient foreign exchange markets, stronger external buffers, revenue growth, and financial system stability. The IMF stated that the reforms by the government, while difficult, had helped improve economic fundamentals. Federal government pledges reform sustenance on IMF backing. This of this on the Nation newspaper this morning.
Oyebanji has performed to deserve second term, Tinubu tells Ekiti residents. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Tuesday urged the people of Ekiti State to re-elect Governor Biodun Oyebanji in the June 20 governorship election, saying the governor has earned another term through his performance and commitment to the state's development. The president, represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, made the appeal during the inauguration of projects, a flyover project in Ado-Ekiti, the state's capital, describing Oyebanji as a leader whose administration has delivered tangible dividends of democracy across the state since assuming office in October 2022. Tinubu said the governor's record in infrastructure development, economic growth, and governance had transformed Ekiti and positioned it among the leading states in the country, adding that the forthcoming election provides an opportunity for residents to reward good performance. Oyebanji has performed to deserve second term, Tinubu tells Ekiti residents. You can pick up a copy of the Nigerian Tribune for more of that story.
And now lastly on the Nation newspaper, military success depends on public confidence, says Chief of Army Staff. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shaibu, has stressed the importance of public support in achieving military objectives. Lieutenant General Shaibu therefore urged the officers of the Nigerian Army Public Relations Corps to develop effective communication strategies that would build public trust and confidence in the armed forces. He spoke during the opening of the combined first and second quarters media workshop in Abuja yesterday. The Chief of Army Staff told the attendees of the event organized by the Directorate of the Army Public Relations that public support remains a strategic necessity for operational success in today's complex security environment. The workshop themed media integration as a force multiplier for joint and agency operational success brought together military public relation officers, defense correspondents, and other stakeholders to explore the role of strategic communication in enhancing security operations. Military success depends on public confidence, says the Chief of Army Staff. Here's of this on the Nation newspaper this morning.
All right, that's a convenient spot for us to draw the curtains on this morning's edition of From the Dailies right here on Melody 107.7 FM. By 8:30, don't forget the program Laujawa takes the airwave. It's our Yoruba and current affairs program. You wouldn't want to miss this morning on this dial. I am Roland Imoyera. So you keep it locked up to Melody 107.7 FM, where we keep you informed, educated, and entertained all day long. Bye for now.
Well, in case you miss any part of today's show, you can go back to our Facebook page, Melody 107.7 FM, to watch it. Well, thanks to everybody who made it a success. From the engineering section, Engineer Matthew Oforishe, as well as Toyo Lokwe Bello from production end. My friends in the studio, Ibiwumi Balogun, as well as Treasure Owadimbola, thank you very much. And to you, our listener, thank you very much. Make the date with From the Dailies again tomorrow, 8 a.m. to 8:30 is the time. I am Matthew Oluwasegun Ijabiken. MOI saying, God save Nigeria.